My vehicle. You can park it here.
And do you know where the
You might
spot
not be
is?
able to.
Oh, because it's yours? You don't think I can?
I could park it.
I know I've oh, I guess. Oh, interesting.
I just want to eat.
It requires the registration.
I guess so.
Shit, no running.
Actually, you know, if you think about the
I can't eat. I can't eat until we hit 1500. You're gonna make me starve. Oh, are we able to come in?
Of course.
Okay.
How you
Hi,
doing,
Mac.
guys?
Doing good, Ed. How are you?
All good, all good. So, that's
Let me
Ursula.
lock the door.
Oh,
First-
okay. All right. That's
Yeah, she had an accident.
Yeah, with the shotgun to the face twice at point
Were you-
blank range.
Are you hunting with Cheney?
No, but it feels like it.
Oh, okay.
Nice 2000s reference, outdating yourself.
Thanks.
The last one that came to mind.
Okay,
Anyway.
it seems like something is flying over my head and I don't like it. So let's move to the main subject.
Sure.
Malton, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the highest command in the Unified Police Department right now?
Right now, you could say technically it is a trifecta between Chief of Police and Bass, Sheriff Kyle Pred, although there's an election going on, so, but Sheriff
What,
Rank,
Mac?
you could say. And then the
What are you
Chief
crying
of
about?
Troopers, Soze. However, I will say in practice, it's more like only the Chief of Police and Sheriff. Sometimes Soze will be involved in conversations, but not that often.
I see.
Oof, it's Billy.
At one point, it was the state troopers who were considered the highest command, correct?
Unofficially, yeah. Basically, it was like troopers ran the show, and that was that was
Sorry.
a long time ago. We're in a different era now, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Have Pond call me right back right now, or else I'm gonna murder this woman at the lighthouse. I'm not fucking joking.
She's in a bail
Tell her to call
hearing.
me right. I don't give a shit. Tell her to call me right fucking back. She's not gonna fucking talk to me the way she did and think that there won't be any fucking consequences. Tell her to call me right fucking now.
Okay.
Let you decide. So we have two proposed legislations for that. I will share them with you, and
Okay.
I will explain exactly which one is which.
All right.
Go ahead, check your emails.
Here we go.
Yep. So I
When's
see
Malton
a
stream?
1 and a
Who
2. I
cares?
assume these are two separate drafts.
They are similar in some way, but completely
Want some
different.
peach
in
jingle
another
for
way.
mayor?
Okay,
Could
They
work.
are nearly identical.
I see.
Okay, I have to go. I'm being. Hello?
Yep, she's a witness, I think, in that court case.
I am literally standing in the mayor's
Gotcha.
office right
So the number one is basically states that the commissioner is the head of the Unified Police Department. Number two is basically making them equivalent to the chief and the sheriff.
So if the responsibilities are similar, what I think would be best, and you may want to have Abdul confer with the Senate on this one, but I think an equivalency would be best. And like I said, that's just because I think for long term, the best position for a commissioner is an arbiter between the two departments and exists as like a tiebreaker, and if absolutely necessary, right? Like I think if you're saying that they're above, that just puts another like rank on top that is not really necessary. It overcomplicates things. I think an equivalency is fine, and if the departments are getting along, great. Then it's just a title with no real teeth behind it. But if you have a very headstrong sheriff and chief, kind of like we're having right now, then at least the commissioner can help mediate between the two on equal grounds, and if necessary, kind of come to a compromise between the two systems.
Huh.
I mean,
see.
Freddy, you're here. What do you think of everything that was just said?
I think it could get messy if it's done like that. I think we'd have to. Well, I don't know. It'd get a little messy if there's a fourth person on the same. I think it could lead to. Look, I've always been under the impression that if there's less people at the tippy top, more things can be accomplished and get done. If you have 3 people that are going to be arguing over everything, things are going to take longer to do. So
Well, that's why in my vision, at least, it's still 2 people arguing, and the third is mainly an arbiter, or in an extreme circumstance, if truly like no progress could be made on a critical issue, the tiebreaker, if you will.
I don't know if the chief and the sheriff would go for this. I don't know if they'd go for either of those, but I mean, you can.
I mean, what's your thoughts on everything, Salim?
Well, I would like to reply to Toretti. We have spoken with the chief and the sheriff. They both agreed to the idea of the commissioner. So, that's done. But right now, what we're trying to do is work on a proposal for the senators, which should make him commissioner by law.
Okay, well, I mean, if they're aboard with it, then up to you.
Honestly, I always think when you speak about commissioner, I always think about someone who's on top, someone who's basically the head of everything. Now, something wrong goes on, you have to speak to the commissioner. And the most important part of the commissioner is making himself available to the common public, I guess, and trying to figure out solutions and trying to figure out problems from the inside.
So I could agree with that, but I think maybe an important distinction that may need to be made, not even in the legislation or just as an understanding between everyone, is I think that makes sense if we're talking about, let's say, public-facing duties, right? But if we're talking about the inner workings within the police department that the common citizenry or even the DOJ,
My cat is freaking out.
Don't know that goes.
Yeah,
on.
I don't think Pred agreed to
that's
this.
Where a ranking structure gets complicated. But if we're wanting to say, the bus
There's
stops
no
at
way
the
they would.
commissioner for the public-facing duties, I think that would make sense.
I see. And one thing is what I really think the commissioner is going to achieve. The position of commissioner is basically accountability, something that has been going around for a while. I mean, for me, I don't see it as an issue. I didn't have an issue with officers where they weren't held accountable, only because I have access to your briefings and see what goes around. I've seen people get strike points, seen people get sent off. The common people don't see that, and I think this is going to be a great front
I agree.
that's highlights accountability. And that's why I want to go with the first one.
I think this is a conversation that I can pass along. We'll kind of said here to the chief at the very least, and maybe we could have another conversation either.
I don't think Pred agreed with
after
this.
the election is done or as it's wrapping up, however the DOJ wants to handle it. But I think at the end of the day, right, is if the Senate is wanting to push for a particular one, I think the police department would be very amendable to that. But yeah, internally, I think it's best if we're all considered equals. Externally, if we're wanting to say public deals with the commissioner, I think that is perfectly fine as well.
Well, actually, in both of them states that the commissioner, one of the expectations of the commissioner is to hold occasional meetings with the public, basically listen to the concerns of the citizens and complaints and such. And if that's something that you're looking for in your job, I highly recommend that, and I highly encourage you to make that in the proposed legislation. like I said, it would be, something different for someone who's a high command, one of the highest command, the police, to have his job just to oversee the police departments, units, and someone who can hold them accountable at that.
All right. I mean, what kind of time frame are you guys looking at? I know we originally talked about end of the month, but that was before the election stuff was going on. Like, are you wanting to still try to keep that time frame, or do you want to push it back because of the election? Like, how's the mayor's office wanting to handle this?
Honestly, we can move it if you want to, but I think the end of the month is fine by now.
Okay.
Because we still have 16 days, maybe 17 days to finalize everything.
This sounds very messy.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess, like I said, I'll bring these kind of proposals to Bass at least, and we could start discussing these internally. But I guess I'd also maybe see if what Abdul and his, because it sounds like he may be in contact with the Senate, because I have not, so I don't know what their expectations are for creating this role either, and we should probably make sure that those line up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I am
agree,
very
but
hangry.
It's it's good to have everyone on the same page when we
I
go
agree.
to the Senates.
I agree.
Like, we all agreed on this. We have the chief over here, the sheriff, and the future commissioner.
Okay.
They have all agreed on this, and we want this.
We'll talk to Bass if nothing else, and get his thoughts on it, and we'll kind of go from there.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I mean, if that's it, I do appreciate you, showing us these legislations. I guess, was there anything else while we were here?
There is one more thing. It's regarding another department that I need your help with.
What's that?
I've been
Ordered
having
sushi?
an issue assigning a budget to a department. Seems like every single time we assign a budget to them, they eat it within 2 days. And I want to bring you on the table next time we discuss budgets.
Okay. What department would that be?
Street racing unit.
Okay. Yeah, I could be involved in that, or be a voice.
They eat it in 2 days.
The TLDR is you're giving them money that's supposed to last weeks, if I recall correctly, but it's gone within a couple days.
Yep.
How much are they eating every couple days?
I can't share that with you, Toretto. You know it.
What do you mean? I am the assistant chief of police. What do you mean?
I know. I can't share it with you.
How is that possible?
Well, I mean,
Toretto, if you promise me you'll keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you.
I should have access to these. I am above them.
Uh-huh. Okay. Easy with your ego now.
yeah, come down, Toretto. You got to keep that ego in check, man.
I have to keep my ego. Okay. How much are they going through? Because Salem, you and I have had many discussions on budget, and we've been very friendly on these things. And we've usually been very amicable and been able to get stuff done whenever we needed it. So how much are they going through?
That's a lot of money.
That's
Like more than 6 figures?
No, not that.
Oh, okay.
The issue is the department just started, and Molten. I don't know. I think we should speak details.
I mean, if you want to talk detail, Latrell was kind of my ride up here, so I got to keep him around. I mean, if you want to table this for another time or wait until we have the unit heads there, that's fine. But yeah, if you want to talk details, I'm all ears. If you trust,
are they afraid of
Steve
everybody
over
else? What is
Steve,
this?
Can I trust you to not take this outside?
Yeah, of course. Why are you so scared?
like
Are you
that.
scared of them?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
What's the matter, Salem? It feels like you're
I'm not
worried
scared.
about you're scared. I'm not going to take this to the public. These are internal talks that we deal with.
Yeah, I know. I want you to keep this between you, me, and Molten. No
Sure.
one else.
I don't think he wants it getting back to SRU is what he's saying.
Yeah, I barely
don't
talk to
want
those
it
guys
getting back
anyway.
to anyone, because as soon as someone, department head, someone I deal with when it comes to financials, learns about this, they would want more money, because why not?
Oh, right. That's the classic. Well, you're paying them that much, so why don't you pay me the same amount?
What?
Yeah,
But that's a terrible logical argument.
Yeah, which is why the people asking
Why
for
would
that
the
probably didn't get
BTF
involved in budget talks to begin with,
Well, that's why the high command should be the ones dealing with it only.
or a commission. Anyway, yeah.
Yep.
What's the numbers we're looking at here?
Okay, so initially they had a budget request that I did not like. I have explained to them multiple times that what they're asking for is not realistic, but somehow they tried to make it look like, it's something reasonable that we actually spend. So basically they asked for 640,000 on a bi-weekly basis.
What the
Sorry, that 1.28 million a month.
What the
Yep.
fuck?
Maybe my math is a little off, but isn't that nearly a wait a second, hang on, no, I could figure that is, yeah, that's like a factor of 8 of what the police department's getting.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, continue. I want to make sure I could grasp the number correctly.
So
all right.
no, I didn't give them that, of course.
okay.
I took it down to 110 on a bi-weekly basis.
Oh my god, that's
instead
not
of
very much.
600, and they were not happy with that. So what happens is
Repairing
I walked out of
interceptors
the
are
office
expensive, true.
And, told Captain Angel that we will not be funding that department. I did offer her a budget, and she did not want it. She wanted more. Well, what exactly happened is Abdul came in and I told him this is the thing. So he suggested a solution that we all agreed on. He said, we will give you
Dude, why are these
200,000
cars costing
as a
so much to
baseline.
repair, man?
Which means
I thought this was supposed to be a balancing act
this
to like
will basically
you don't go
define
crazy
how
with the
much
cars.
we would give you on a bi-weekly basis. Just don't, just use
That's
it for
just
the next 2
insane,
weeks.
man.
Hey, here's a slush fund. We'll see where you're at in 2 weeks, and you could kind of go from there.
Yep. Next
A
day,
bounty
they
reward
give us a
system.
call again. Actually, it happened inside this office with the sheriff, Sergeant
The cars take
Underwood,
S-class parts.
and
True.
some deputies. I don't know, low-ranking deputies, I guess.
Sure.
I didn't know them.
Oof. That's
And
insane,
there
man.
was a lot of talk, a lot of things that I did not like. Something that is currently being investigated by Richard that happened that day. I think you may be aware of. Malton?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I said something happened with that meeting that Richard Dark is investigating about.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah, on
that's
top of that, there
insane.
was the
remember when we had to be
insults left
careful
and
with
right,
our cars and like be
which
conscious of it?
I did not like. Again,
Mhm.
I asked them, what do you guys want exactly?
They've had
And
like
they
10
said
cars
that they
impounded.
want
True.
more money, basically, on top of that 200.
They do bring in a lot of money.
So I tried to get this meeting over with as soon as I can, and I basically informed Abdul about it, and he was very displeased that he heard that he got word they basically reimbursed previous officers just to spend that budget and get more.
Okay, so
And
There's going to be crashes. Yeah.
To try to get more, basically.
I think there is a bunch of people. It's just like
they were
it's like I would never
reimbursing,
drive
like,
one,
repairs
right? Because
from
it's just
previous
it'd be
weeks,
stupid. Even if I was
where
okay
wasn't
at
what
it.
we agreed on.
Yeah, I hear you.
So Abdul had a talk with Matthew Espinoz. Matthew showed him the costs, the repair costs of the interceptors, and basically Abdul gave them another 100K and told them, "Hey, keep this for 2 weeks. If you don't keep this for 2 weeks, you're not gonna get anything." Well, 2 days later,
Small claims for vehicle
actually, not
damages.
2 days.
You can't do that.
Fair here. It was exactly 5 days. I called Matthew and asked him for bank records, and he said, "Hey, we need more money."
So 20 grand a day, roughly.
Something like that.
Okay.
So I
20
told
grand
him,
a
"No,
day.
you guys are not gonna get more money. If you want anything, you're gonna get it by the next window, which is gonna be on the 15th. By the way, 15th, Dorothy. I need your bank records."
Gotcha.
So when that happened, I talked to Abdul and asked him to kick it back to me. The
They aren't
SRU
asking
thing.
for a lot.
I told him that
Aren't they asking for like
myself and
600K?
Molten will be the decision makers on this.
Who'd you tell that to?
Abdul.
Oh, okay. All right.
What are they asking for? 20K a day?
I mean, do you have a meeting kind of or a tentative one set forth with SRU, or is it just kind of
320?
like a 15th? Like when are you wanting to meet
That's
with them?
600K a month?
Tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, I could try to make myself.
It's just
available,
awkward.
if
It's just
everyone's
awkward
around
because
it.
like just the interceptor repairs is more money than the rest of the whole department. like,
but if
combined.
not, I guess once this legislation
So it's just
goes through, I could
weird
have a
that the interceptors would have a higher
or at least
budget.
a conversation with
And-
at the very least SRU to find out what a realistic budget for them might be, because as far as I know, and
20K
I could
a
just
day
be out of
doesn't-
the loop,
That's
you know, Trey
insane.
or you might know more than me, but the other department
Ugh,
seems
this is
to
why I don't
be
drive cars.
operating all right on their budgets for the most
Yeah, I
part.
think most don't even use it. Most departments don't even use their budget.
Definitely made sure of that. When I offered them that 110 budget, I was 100% certain that should be enough for 2 weeks.
Destroying
but somehow they
Vinstratch.
fucking spend, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest.
Well, if they're just paying for repairs, I don't know,
Repairs
like,
are
what the
expensive
cost-
no matter what. No other department pays for repairs, right? So if other departments did, there would be massive amounts of budgets, right? For everybody we'd
Yep.
be requesting. But we don't. But to be fair, those cars are very expensive and they were bankrupting our police officers paying for those repairs.
Yeah, I'll have to see what the average repair is. I mean, I granted I'm not an interceptor driver. I mean, I'm a motor interceptor driver, but my initial thought is if you're not paying at least something out of pocket, then you probably don't give a fuck that much about the car, especially if you don't own it yourself, right?
Exactly. One thing I suggest.
I mean, that's
and I'm
what
willing
Malton
to
just said
suggest
is
in
a
the
really
next
good
meeting is
point.
partial reimbursement.
That's what I was thinking too, honestly.
A subsidy
That's
for every
something
repair? That would be that could be a good idea.
So I suggested that to Angel, and she said, "So you want my drivers to pay for their repairs?" And I was like, "Yeah, partially, they can pay." And the insults continue.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ, man.
You know, if you guys have a time tomorrow or whenever the meeting ends up happening, you could just email me and I should be able to make myself available. But if not, at the very latest, end of the month or whenever this legislation finally gets decided on, I could officially talk to the SRU as commissioner and work something out to bring to.
So they could pay the same as other cops? I mean,
realistic proposal.
I mean, they are expensive to fix. The Explorers are
going
too.
Back on the main subject, you have the legislation proposals. Read them over and give me your opinion on them. When should I hear back from you?
We'll discuss it at the very least the LSPD side tonight, and so I could
Yeah,
I
the
could
Just
at least
Drive-
give you our
Just
general
Drive
consensus
Better
from
one
myself,
is
Ray, and the chief of police.
is a stupid argument,
Fred,
but at the same time, it's not.
one email away, but I can't make any promises on that one.
One email away. Yep.
But we'll keep you up to date for at least 3.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. I guess you're ready to head back already.
Yep, we're ready.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing that legislation.
Anytime.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Me too.
yeah, I bet you are, Malton.
Well, I didn't ask for it.
You didn't ask for it. Didn't you?
Did not. Nope.
They
Okay.
approached me.
Yeah, I didn't. You definitely weren't talking about it for months.
Nope.
Hey, you think I can get them to reimburse me for my Explorer?
Maybe if you get to them before my promotion.
Promotion.
I mean, they're regardless of how they're cutting it, even if it's a 3-star rank, that'd be higher than a captain.
What a mess.
Very much so, but I'm looking forward to see what happens with it, if it even happens to begin with.
It's gonna be a shitstorm, Malton. I don't really give a fuck. As much as I give a fuck, I also don't give a fuck because we all work together well. But for other people, it's not going to work well. I think it's going to cause a mess.
I mean, if you don't give a fuck, shouldn't you relish in the fact that, oh shit. You want to
Oh,
drive or
fuck.
should I?
It's fine. I can drive back there.
Okay. I mean, regardless, if you truly don't give a fuck, I mean, which, again, I don't because of what you said, but isn't this something you could rile up Fred with?
What do you mean, Rylam?
Like poke jabs at him, you know, like, hey.
Look, as much as I wouldn't mind being the sheriff, you know, being up there and being able to laugh at Pred underneath me and you know, just relish in that, it could cause a lot of more problems than we want.
It could, but I mean, maybe they're overcomplicating it, but I could definitely see why they don't want. Let's just like they want a set person who could come to them and say, hey, this is the money that we need. I could certainly see things from their perspective.
Sure, if you want to deal with that shit, go ahead. I mean, it seems like a mess. It is a difficult like position to get in, to deal with. Like, one department gets repairs and no other department, because then I'm worried that other departments are going to beg for repairs, and they are so expensive.
I guarantee you I'm going to be ruffling feathers with SRU if they're expecting 100%.
People drive like psychopaths. Now, obviously, those are the better drivers of the police department, but, you know, if you drive... We'll go back to MRPD. I just... It's hard to... It's a difficult position to get in. I understand both sides, to be honest. It's very expensive. Those cars are super expensive to fix. I think a subsidy might be a decent way, but also I think they do catch a lot of people, so...
Well, that's the other thing.
We need to be able to do something about these cars.
I mean, I don't know what the actual breakdown is. I mean, maybe there could be talks about chopping the commission higher on certain things, but
yep.
I think I forget who said this a while back, but I mean, there's a lot of stolen cars in this.
I'm not going to catch a Sanchez.
If you're part of the SRU, I assume you're a pretty crack driver, especially in an Interceptor. Just get some 1060s off the street, and those definitely add up.
I mean, I think the philosophy was, for the most part, for SRU or for the Interceptor drivers, they would focus on the bigger calls.
Oh.
So they wouldn't really go to a 1060 call, right? So well, maybe that could alleviate some of the repair costs, but I think they're just inherently expensive to repair.
No, they shouldn't be going to the 1060s, but what I'm saying is, and I can't speak for everyone, right? But just drive around with your radar on. I guarantee you'll flag something pretty quickly.
True. I mean, for what I understand, they definitely catch a bunch of people. And they're the only ones that can. So a lot of the VIN scratches are coming from SRU.
I think what needs to happen realistically, and can you make tags?
Yes, but I've never made them.
Okay. I mean, what I think I might ask for, if you think this would be a good idea, is, and a lot of them already have it, but if we just start tagging stuff up with department name, you know, BTF, SCU, SRU, et cetera, I mean, that's also a good indicator for like budget stuff. Like, you could go to the mayor and say, hey, look, I pulled up their reports, their tagged arrests for the past 2 weeks, and they brought in, you know, $1 million.
Well, Malton's not really a part of anything.
Right, in the case of
it would work
SCU
out
sometimes.
Right.
So that could be, say, like, hey, you could probably afford to give up, you know, a third of that for their budget, because you're still so far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are taking off tons of VIN scratch cars. I've seen millions of dollars worth of cars being taken off the road. I'm here for the dwugs, bro. Suspension. Suspended.
I'll have to get with them. That's if this happens. So we're counting eggs before they hatch, as Bass would say.
Right.
Let me
me take
What
a
the
look.
f-
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry.